Hi, and welcome to Bio 112. I am Professor Scott, and I am going to be your guide for this semester as we look at everything on our wonderful planet that we call a life form, everything from the simplest to the most complex. So we are essentially going to be walking through the various phyla of all organisms on Earth, and we're going to look at what makes each grouping unique, what adaptations they have for living in their environment, and then we're going to put it all together and talk about how they interact with each other and how that builds ecosystems and biomes and makes this wonderful planet that we inhabit pretty awesome and unique. So let's talk about what you're going to need to know for the semester. If you are watching this video, then you have probably already been to the Sakai site, and that's going to be your key to the semester. If you look on the left side of the Sakai site, you will see various modules. And when you look at your syllabus, you'll note that most weeks you're going to be going through a module per week, unless you're taking a summer course in which you'd be doing 2 modules per week. In each module at the top, there is a checklist, and you are responsible for everything on that checklist for that module. What it will usually include is reading a particular chapter in your textbook and doing the associated Learnsmart and quiz for that particular unit. Occasionally, there will be what we call additional assignments, and those are assignments that I give you specifically for that week that's related to the topic. So let's go on to the next slide, and I'll give you a breakdown as to how everything is graded in this class. Okay, so here is the course grading. The first 70% of your grade comes from the lecture itself, and that 70% is broken down into 4 lecture exams, which are worth 50% of your grade. Participation in the Learnsmart that I talked about, and the Learnsmart is either an all or nothing. You either complete the whole thing or you don't, so you either get a 0 or a 100. I will tell you that is the easiest portion of this particular class, so you definitely want to make sure that you're completing that every week, because that's worth 5% of your grade. Then there's another 5% that comes from those McGraw-Hill quizzes online. And the additional assignments that I told you about are worth 10% of your grade. The other 30% is made up from assignments that we do in lab. So that will be broken down into weekly lab quizzes. So every week when you come into lab, you're going to take a quiz on the lab that you performed the week before. And that's worth 10% of your lab grade, or 10% of your overall grade. And then we will additionally have 3 lab exams, which are like lab practicals, and those are worth 20% of your grade. So this is how your grade is calculated. And in person, I will give you tips and tricks on how to do really well in my class. I can tell you historically what some students have done that really stood out and help them to make it through the class well. Because fair warning, it is a lot of information when you're talking about trying to study every living thing on the planet. It's going to be a lot of information, but I promise you, you guys can handle it, and I will always be here as a resource. And also, your community college provides excellent resources that I will definitely go into when we get to see each other in person. But for now, thanks for watching, and make sure you go take your quiz for your Intro to Bio video. Okay, I'll see you guys soon.